There's a very well-known quote which says, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." Our next speaker, Mrs. Swati Bedekar, is a prime example who supports this entire quote. She was featured in the BBC's list of 50 women who made things happen for her domain of menstrual hygiene in the year 2017. She also started the Sakhi project under the aegis of Vatsalya Foundation, which aimed at setting up low-cost organic sanitary pad manufacturing units for underprivileged ladies. She also set up a group called Discovery Science Resource Group, which is engaged in improving the science and mathematics education in the rural area. She has been honored with multiple awards for her remarkable work in women empowerment, menstrual hygiene, urban development, and many such categories. We are so humbled to have you with us, ma'am. Can we have Mrs. Swati Bedekar with us? Hello, ma'am.
Hello. I hope I am audible and visible both.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nice to meet all of you. Young group of children, youth, I think I should say. Do I start? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So very good morning, and yeah, you all have made this morning good, because when I meet a group of young people like you, I think this is what is an elixir of life, a good dialogue, good and healthy dialogue like this. And many congratulations to the first two speakers. You all were really, really inspiring. I don't know, I've been asked to talk about my journey. Well, the journey is not yet ended, but I'll try and give you some gist about it. Essentially, I'm a science educator, you can call me that, and it just so happened that I went to villages. Few years back, I wanted to teach science to girls, and just found that those girls are just not there in the school. Reason was kind of obvious, but tried to probe a little bit more and found out that there is a total ignorance about menstrual period in the society among men and women. And this particular ignorance often led to indifference, particularly among men. There are many boys sitting here. I would wonder, I mean, just think about it, how much do you know about menstruation? Often men tend to think that it's a woman's problem and let her handle it. Don't you, guys? Well, that was the scenario. And the sad thing was, this ignorance and indifference often led to injustice, which was aimed only and only towards girls. Girls had to lose out on education once they reached puberty. And once you lose out on education, you lose out on a right to lifestyle, right? Just think about it, so much of potential. I mean, 50% of women reside in rural India, and if they lose out on education at, say, at standard 7th or 8th, where a young girl in the city begins her career at the age of around 25 to 30, right? These girls often used to tell me, "Ben, hame to parwari gaya." That means for which we were born, our work is done. That means we are married, we have had 2, 3, 4, whatever their quota is of children, and now somehow dealing with, say, anemia or calcium deficiency and things like that, and just leading our lives. Somewhere it hurt me. See, we were just 125 kilometers away from Vadodara town. And the scenario was this, that a girl, when she reaches puberty, her menarche, she wouldn't get a single piece of cloth even to protect herself. this made her so vulnerable. In many of the villages, girls were just made to sit outside on the rock. Um, I mean, I went there, I scolded their mothers that what is this? I mean, can't you be have little sensitivity? This is purana kapda bhi nahi hai. Laake doge, to we would wear it rather than using it for such dirty cause, dirty process. Uh, well, if you're a person who sees a problem and doesn't want to see it anymore, there are two ways. You move away from the problem, or you the problematic area. I mean, you move the area away from the problem. I don't know. I felt like being in the second category, not part of the problem, but part of a solution. And just decided I can't explain it. What was it that made me do it? Just decided that I need to spread awareness on this topic. I can't let so much of girl potential go waste just like that. Started spreading awareness. I mean, a lot of people ask me, wasn't it difficult? Well, this was a topic. I used to go conduct a Gram Sabha. There would be 200 women sitting in front of me, and the moment I would say Masik Dharma, Mahavari, everybody would just get up and go away, vanish. There would be, I mean, few men and 2 or 3 women sitting in front of me. And then men started scolding me, what is this? You're trying to spoil, I mean, the whole social fabric. You're going to speak something against which is a big taboo. I said, no, that perseverance there was necessary. And to find many different ways, keep on doing it. I felt that was necessary. And another thing that was necessary, that was providing an affordable access to all these women. So at least the girls could go to school. What's it? Was it right or wrong? Well, I don't know. I never cared about it. What I did that I could do then was find out means and ways of, giving some kind of hygienic means. I prepared the pads the way I felt like, tried to spread them. And somewhere I heard about, actually, because I was in the field of science, National Innovation Foundation was something I was connected to. And they said, like, there is a person down south who is doing something. Why don't you check him out? Whether he's really doing something or what kind of machines he has. Well, next day, me and my husband, we were there in Coimbatore looking at Arunachal Murugan's machines, brought them to Baroda because we thought something could be done with that. There were problems, but still, we thought we would try. We made a proper project that, I mean, many of you must be management guys, so you would know. And took it to different collectors, that this is a need, something like this needs to be done, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16 of the collectors said, no, who will use sanitary pads? What are you talking about? But I too was a management graduate, and there was a lesson that I had learned in my college time. We were given a project that, you're supposed to go to Africa and find out there was some Timbuktu, some country, that what is the scope of shoe business over there. And we were given some visuals, some descriptions. Nobody was wearing shoes, nobody. Well, on the day of the presentation, many people said like very less scope, there will be a lot of, trouble time to penetrate the shoes. I looked at it a little differently. I said, well, nobody wears shoes. I think we can make all of them wear the shoes. So there is 100% scope in it, right? I mean, the same logic I applied. If the people don't know about sanitary napkins, if the people don't know about what is hygiene and if they need it, well, it should be given to them. And I started promoting, talking to women that you can do it, you can bring this difference. One day it so happened, we were in there's a Dahod, tribal district in Gujarat, and we were working there. And I used to pick up, village women, village youth who would just loiter about, train them and make them para teachers in the schools. So, they could be motivated themselves, they can get into mainstream education, etc., etc. One such lady, she said, Ben, manager, velu kaam aaphi dejo. Please give me work a little faster. I'm going to die in 2 months. That is something, stunned me. Said, like, why do you say you're going to die in 2 months? She said, well, in our village, women get some kind of a foda. You understand foda, an abscess on the lower part of the body, and the woman dies. This was shocking. Believe me, I took her to the hospital, and yes, she was a prospective case of cervical cancer, and it happens because of the unhygienic conditions that you follow, which actually, give the space for the virus to grow faster. I spoke to the district health officer. Said, what is this? What is she saying? She's saying, all women go through this. The district officer said, yes, this happens. This particular district has the highest percentage of women affected with cervical cancer. In India, say around 30,000 women are affected every year. 26% of them were in that particular district. She said, what can I do? Well, I said, I have some solution. It is 20 rupees and the local women will get livelihood. Just all that you have to do is come with me to the collector and say the same thing. This district has the maximum ratio of women's work. And that worked. That worked. The collector said, but I said, well, I'm going to try. Why don't you give me a chance? Yes, I started my first unit in 2010 in that small district called Dhanpur, in a village. बिल्कुल खेतों के बीच में प्यारा सा unit है. Since we were in Gujarat, instead of going to the government with the crying face that just help us, I prefer that there is an opportunity here. Maybe this can change the face of the problem, or this can change the economic condition of the village. Bang, we went there. One unit started, second started. Well, there was a problem convincing women because most of them said, what will we tell at home and how can we get involved in something that was dirty? My friends back home in the city, they started koi aur ढंग का काम नहीं मिला था. Well, the thing was, when you're involved and when you feel something very strongly, all I could feel was, बस यही एक ढंग का काम है. See, when you make something as a livelihood project,
guys, I think Swati ma'am is facing some technical.
Then obviously, excuse me?
We had lost you for a brief moment.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this had to be run as a professional business. So all those things, and what we were doing is trying to make women, get them together. See, these women had never been to school. I think in our first units, our first 10, 15 units, the maximum education qualification was that of 4th pass. So all these women, they were learning literally to recognize the raw material, to erect the machines, to maintain, to handle them, to keep the inventory, to keep quality control of the project. I mean, everything thinking that one pays hefty fees to get into a university and learn. So, in fun, we used to call this project Sakhi is not a project, this is a university. And all the women that are associated with it are getting a degree, that of an MBA, Mahila in business administration. Well, being an academician, being in academics, this also was giving me a lot of energy to continue, because somebody who had never handled anything beyond maybe a sickle, खेती काम करते थे सब लोग, now they were handling machines. Just a river beyond in Madhya Pradesh, the dark jungles of like Bastar start, and in those days Naxalism was at the peak of it. Other side, they were taking up guns, and here women were operating machines. Why? So that their counterpart. Yeah, I must tell you this good news that Moodiben is still alive. The story I told you about the woman in Dhanpur, she's still alive. She runs this unit, and at least 25 villages around her, girls can go to school because she makes the sanitary pads for them. Now that we had started these units, it was important to sort of, when we talk of a social enterprise, you talk of, okay, हमें funds कहाँ से आएंगे, government grant देगी क्या, कोई charity करेगा क्या? A business never survives on this. It survives only if it is self-sustainable. So, ठीक है, change the role. The scientist in me came out, and of course, here I must mention that there's one thing I always taught my women: if you're getting into business, don't keep it to yourself. ये मेरा काम मत रखो इसको मेरा काम, ये हमारा काम, make it हमारा काम. Involve every member of your family, and while doing that, probably I involved my family members too. My husband was happily doing his business. वो अरब के ऊँट की तरह पहले तो उनका फैक्ट्री ले लिया, फिर उनका दिमाग भी ले लिया. I said, I want to make machines which can give a drudgery-free work opportunity to these women. आराम से कुर्सी में बैठ के they should be able to produce machines. And well, for the girls here, let me tell you, it works, थोड़ी दिन के लिए खाना बनाना बंद कर दो, you get what you want. And for all the boys sitting here, for someone whom you love, अपना best दे ही दो, they love you more. We could make the machines which were drudgery free. जो पुराने वाली machines में हमें problem आ रहे थे कि women को backache हो रहा था. See, for running any kind of again and again, why am I saying business? Because this is a big business, the whole worldwide. The major hubs being China and the East European countries. और आप सबके पैसे ले जाती है मालूम? So, I mean, it's very important to keep all that money right here, and there's a big business continuously going on. Every girl is going to grow up, she's going to menstruate, and she's going to need sanitary products, right? So it's a good idea to keep the business right here. It never works well if you're not getting the right kind of material, and if your production rate is not high. So making good machines, keeping very good material, indigenous material, was required because I had to work in villages. The focus was that girl in the village, she should be able to afford that napkin, and she should be able to come to the school. So backward integration, we started working on material. Most of these companies, they make plastic filled napkins. They use super absorbent polymer in there as an absorbent material in the napkins, which definitely, I mean, the increasing amount of cervical cancer in India is essentially because of that. Heavy use of nylons and super absorbent polymers. Our country, in cold countries, it might be okay for them, but in our country, where the temperatures are average 35 to 40, keeping a polythene near your most private and delicate part, definitely can hurt you. और अगर कुछ हमारी बहनों के लिए है तो it couldn't be that, you know. So we researched on local material, and well, research always pays off. We were able to make unabsorbent sheet from indigenous fibrous plants such as banana stem है, jatropha है, कॉर्न का जो पार्ट फॉडर की तरीके से यूज नहीं होता वो है, उनमें से इवन वाटर हाइसेंथ है. All these things which are supposedly a problem to the farmers, we converted them into absorbent sheets and started using in the napkins and made 100% biodegradable sanitary napkin. Well, this was the very first certified in India and made by Indian women. And thus, kind of Sakhi became a household name in Gujarat. Now it was time to go out. Social enterprise था, तो अगर आप लोगों को अच्छा लगे, as I said, जब पैसे नहीं होते, तो what you must do, you must use आपका दिमाग use करके, you have to find ways, you have to find solutions to your problems. Such as हमारे पास distribution system नहीं था, तो हमने ST बस से अपना माल, अपने finished goods का distribution शुरू किया. We had a problem, women coming to the unit. Actually, so we made, pairs of mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. And you know what we achieved with that? We achieved the best quality control department that we could by this arrangement. And agar mother-in-law kuch bol bhi jati, so daughter-in-law would not feel anything about it, because together they had to be partners in crime. They had to earn money together. See, when women started working, bringing money into the house, it completely changed the whole perspective. And that was the time to involve men in the project, because now the women were becoming decision makers. मेरी एक unit leader है अख्तर, she always used to say, एक काम तो हो गया बहन, हमारा हाथ पहले ऐसे होता था, ऐसे, अब ऐसे होता है. Like, we have become givers in the family. We become active contributors in the family. Now, when we had to involve men, again, social media which we used, that was some 2013-14 ka time tha. The WhatsApp had started. Even, village men would nicely flaunt their telephones. We formed WhatsApp groups of men, village men. मेरे phone में देखोगे 60-70 groups ऐसे मिलेंगे. What the things which we could not tell them face to face, we started by making creative WhatsApp messages. And I was prepared to take the brickbats because I had taken them earlier also. But in this world, the message that a man has equal stake in a woman's health, actually we could transmit it to the men. That if you're a husband, if you're a father, if you're a son or a boyfriend, just show that little sensitivity towards girls, towards the women in your house. Because if she is fit, if she is happy, your entire family is going to be happy. I'm glad we were able to make a little dent in the system. How, I'll tell you. We often insist, kabhi bhi rural schools mein, we won't teach alone, girls alone. We would always have the boys sitting in the same class learning about menstruation. And if you use the correct words, proper words, you can put the message across. Because there's a simple thing, हमारी body की सारी systems एक जैसी हैं, men and women दोनों में एक जैसा काम करती हैं. It's only the reproductive system which is partially in men, partially in women, and work differently. And both of them must respect that system. Don't you think so? I'm not going to give you here a lecture on what is menstruation and how it works. I'm just going to talk about what changed the game. This kind of, we made awareness and knowledge our tool for marketing for these village women. Of course, many of them couldn't read, so we made nataks and bawais and swangs and a whole lot of things. We even played garbas with this saying, "Ore sakhi tu to mari sati re saheli re, bhare mari zindagi ne kari te to saheli re." From there, we have reached to a point. वो एक दिन था और आज का दिन है. We have 166 units of Sakhi running in the country, right from Gujarat to Manipur, Assam. So from west to the far east, right from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala. So from north ranging down to south. You know, with all these women coming together, the euphoria was something like this. Somebody in one such talk shows, a very eminent person, he said, "मुझे कुछ कहना है इसके ऊपर." You know, the effect on the life of these women is almost like, एक दफा तो मुझको अपना जीवन खुद ही बोने दो, लिख लेने दो अपनी किस्मत, फिर होना है जो होने दो, फिर होना है जो होने दो. And with that, what you say, euphoria, I think, I'm not very sure, but around 5,000 women must be with the Sakhi. Problems don't stop here. When we had actually got village women hooked to using sanitary napkins and pursuing their education, one day they said, I mean, there is a big problem. The villages don't have a waste collection system. And the entire village hates us because we use a sanitary pad and litter it around. Well, the problem was definitely very, very serious. No multinational had even thought about it. And by that time, I mean, you know, there were people used to send them down to landfills, and there were almost people were making, were raising voice against it. In Hadapsar, there was a big revolt that no napkin will come for landfill, as it actually, you know, spreads pollution. दूसरी बार, again, we went to somebody whom you can trust. Well, me and my husband thought that this project is going to go completely waste if we don't give them a solution. And the solution came up in the face of Ashuddhi Nashak, a simple equipment which is made out of terracotta, which can be placed anywhere in the village because it merges with the rural landscape, doesn't require any electricity. जब मैंने सुना था कि there are electrical incinerators, I went to various सरपंचs like, can we, somebody will give me electricity. बोले हाँ, एक सरपंच बोला हाँ ले लो, मेरे से ले लो. यहाँ आके क्या करेगी लेडीज, क्या करेगी, क्या बनाएगी इसमें? I said nothing, कुछ नहीं बनाएगी, वो अपना यूज किया हुआ सैनिटरी पैड डालेगी और ये मशीन उसको जलाएगी. वो जो भाग गया आज तक दिखाने. So definitely we had to use something that, you know, keep the dignity and privacy of a girl intact. And well, you can go on Google and find out what is Ashuddhi Nashak. But women loved it so much. आजकल वो उनकी तरफ से ये नाम आया है. Please don't call it Ashuddhi Nashak because we don't believe it is Ashuddh anymore. Let us call it Shuddhi Vardhak. If you like that name, you're free to call it by that name. You know, the most important aspect of this project, this is not done alone. It's always done in groups. And now I kind of have come to believe that one mad thought, अगर उसमें ताकत है, अगर उसमें दम है, तो anybody and everybody joins it. Be it the city or because the project which started in the villages, it is running in the city of Delhi, it is running in the city of Bangalore, it is running in Chennai, as well as started in Mumbai, everywhere. I mean, it is doing good to everybody, not just the rural women, but her counterpart. These women now have the guts, now have the imagination, creativity to diversify. So I can almost say that they have learned the trick of the trade. The most important thing this project has done is that somewhere rural women were more bothered about मेरी साड़ी कैसी है, मेरे गहने कैसे हैं, मेरा makeup कैसा है, and not worried about her own safe, her own uh, internal health. The focus has come back on her health. Women health has become a thing of prime importance and talk of the town. Women have started talking about it. One healthy woman, as I said, can actually, make the whole family and the whole society happy. In this journey, somewhere, somebody read about it somewhere. An English girl came to India and she said, well, I want to help Syrian women in refugee camps. We built 12 units for them in Jordan, in the refugee camp, inside a container, with an idea, let them learn that. Let them also make adult diapers for all the paraplegic patients residing in the camp. And if at all in life they get a chance to go back home, they can take their unit, go home, and their livelihood opportunity sustains even there also in that condition also. Our neighboring country, Bhutan, which is a 100% organic country, their school girls are running this project with government aid. And you will find, if any of you get a chance to visit Bhutan, you will find Ashuddin Achak in every school, every public toilet, in every public facility. Well, in India also you do find it in many places, because somewhere women believe that this topic, which was a hush hush for a long time, must come out in the open. I don't know how much time I have. I don't know, because this is such a topic I can go on and on and on. But one last thing I would like to say. We started a challenge to involve girls, smart girls and boys like you in the project called Hygiene Bucket Challenge. Rings a bell? The Ice Bucket Challenge, you must have heard. This means one empowered boy or a girl empowers one girl, empowers another. Just give 12 packets of sanitary napkin to a girl in distress from an underprivileged family. ये आसान है, challenge ये नहीं है. Talk for 5 minutes on menstrual hygiene. Convince her why she should have that hygiene. And then gift her that infection-free life for a year. 1 year she gets hooked to it. Definitely she will, want to go for it. Ek nail polish kam legi, but then she'll ensure that she gets sanitary pads to use. Lot has been done. Each and everything is important, but maybe there is another time. If you ask me questions, I would like to answer them. As and when, what comes to your mind, I would answer on that. Jate, I would just like to say these 4 lines. Since you asked me about this journey, well, the journey is not yet over, and I would love it if you all join it. हदें जब शहरों से निकली तो गांव गांव गई. हदें जब शहरों से निकली तो गांव गांव चली. कुछ यादें मेरे साथ पांव पांव चली. सफर हुआ जब धूप का तो तजुर्बा हुआ. वो जिंदगी ही क्या जो छांव छांव चली. Thank you very much.